Hi everybody, it's Lisa here from My Paranormal. Today I'm going to bring to you a couple stories from somebody named Jess. She says, I have two stories to share. The first one was the introduction to the spiritual side of life, while the second one is kind of day-to-day life I live now. I grew up with visitations from shadow people. I'd see their dark shadows move between me and light sources, while other things between me and the light sources were quite visible and easy to discern. But black silhouettes were always completely black. I also had hypnagogic experiences before, as well as fever hallucinations, so I knew the difference between them all. They're all very different. Next, I lived near a cemetery, a stone's throw quite literally, maybe 20 feet away at most. I would occasionally see strange mists or hear my name as I tried to go to sleep. I could easily write those off as fanciful imagination, but one early morning was different. I woke up, but I couldn't move. I did have a bit of a panic for a couple seconds. I thought in my mind's eye that I saw an ominous figure. Set aside the specter for a moment. We will come back to it. Do you know what I mean by mind's eye? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the room you're in. Many of us can visualize the items or shapes of the items in the room. Some of us can even turn off the lights and safely and accurately navigate via these visualizations in our mind's eye. I'm not suggesting anything mystical or some sort of extra sensory perception or anything. So what I visualized was the room, but also with an unknown presence which I felt. Very quickly, my visualization began to come to life. No longer were the things I saw hazy or vague shaped. Instead, they became quite clear. But everything looked like as if it were made of light green mist. Then the ominous figure came into shape. It was a large face. It was about 3 feet in diameter with large, angry-looking eyes, a large nose, a big mouth with fierce-looking teeth, some of them fangs, and wild, wavy hair writhing like tens of thousands of tiny little snakes. Like every strand was alive and conscious. But between me and the thing, which I later learned was a Mahakali, in between us was a feminine silhouette, a little timid, and she wasn't holding her shape very well. So I thought to myself, calm down, calm down. Nothing has happened. Let go. See the eyes of the Almighty. What do you see? The giant face moved aside and faded. Not gone, but not disturbing me anymore. The female spirit asked where she was and what had happened. I had to explain to her she was recently disembodied, now in spirit form, and that she needed to cross over and go to the light. She left. I gained control of my body. I got up, got ready, headed out the door to go to work, and watched as a funeral procession went up the cemetery's drive. This is a good reminder that we are not physical people on a spiritual journey. We are spirits on a physical journey. The universe, as a spirit, is our true nature and home. This physical stuff is temporary. We're just visiting Earth. It's not permanent reality at all. Now fast forward to when I'm well past grown up and have grown kids of my own. My daughter brought home a little settler spirit. I somehow brought home a little spirit from the 1900s. Those are different stories I'll tell later. These two little spirits are besties and play together all the time. You can sometimes even see them. One is in Victorian lace and the other is in a pretty white dress. They eavesdrop on us all the time, which is fine. They also watch YouTube and anime and dramas. One just reminded me about the dramas. Anyhow, they're always welcome to come with us when we go on outings. I had mentioned to my daughter that there was a cool outing in a very large park, and all three wanted to go. They send excited feelings when something sounds interesting to them. I can't really explain it, but you can differentiate between your own feelings and their feelings. So we go to the event at the park and the girls ask to walk around. It's not something you always hear, but rather sometimes it's a knowing, like a foreign thought. At some point we see a local cemetery, which I had forgot was there. Both of us got distinct impressions to go to the cemetery, but my daughter verbalized it. We pass a bus driver on his break in a parked bus. Passing by, we both felt the presence of spirits, like 40 of them. The bus was packed. They ride around the city in the bus One of them tried to flash his ugly mug in the reflection in the window. It's much easier to place your image in a reflection as opposed to willing a full apparition. I had to laugh because he wasn't scary at all. We walked around the cemetery a bit and rested at a bench. A local cemetery resident got our attention, and we suddenly felt the presence of maybe a couple hundred spirits. They all wanted crossing over. We helped them cross over. It was as if they were all boarding a skybound subway or train that was made of light. It actually took a while for everyone to board and ascend. We then negotiated a deal with the local guardian there, and he agreed to let us know when others would want crossing over. Thank you for sharing your stories with us, Jess. They're very, very interesting, and I love the spirit buddies that you have. It's so sweet, and it's awesome that you help them all cross over. Thank you for sharing.